Welcome back to The Call Up. I'm your host, April Marine. Empowered women empower women. And today, you'll witness that firsthand as we shine the light on some 4 incredible women with some impactful stories from across the G League who are making some big strides both on and off the court. Serving as the only female head coach of an American men's professional basketball team in the NBA or the G League this season, Stockton head coach Lindsay Harding has a lot to reflect on and look forward to in her new role. Coach, thank you so much for the time today. Even now, when you hear that, what emotions come to be about?
I'm just doing what I love. I didn't expect to coach. I got to be honest with you. I didn't think I was going to be a coach. And my college coach said I'd be a great coach, and I thought she was crazy. Here I am. I'm enjoying it. I'm loving it. I'm surrounded by great people, a great group of support, especially men that are supporting. And they don't treat me any different than anyone else. So, it is. It's a pretty cool, position to be in. You feel a little bit of, responsibility, and you don't just want to be good at what you do. You want to be great at it because you're one of the first. So I am blessed to be here.
So when did the notion of even, the thought of becoming a coach of a men's professional basketball team, when did that actually become a goal of yours?
Really, with the NBA, I worked in the league office for a year. And then I became a scout, player personnel scout for the 76ers. That organization talked to me about being a player development coach. And I remember thinking, I want to do front office, but I also said, if I get this experience of being a coach, it can only help me. So I decided to take that opportunity, and I loved it, and I enjoyed being on the floor. And from that point, I'm like, okay, I think coaching is the direction I want to be in, and that's what I pursued for the next 4 or 5 years in coaching. So I think, there's a lot more exposure now. There's a lot more women speaking out and getting the experience they need to get these positions. Because for me, when I started coaching, it wasn't even a thought. I think that's part of it too. I didn't always dream to be a coach and coach men's basketball. I have young girls now in college and even younger saying that their dream is to be a coach in the NBA, and I never thought that at that age. So I'm guessing it's probably more and more women and young girls thinking about it at an earlier age and getting the experience they need to have hopefully more of us moving forward.
And you mentioned young women, which I think is really the focal point here, because there's a lot of young girls, especially young women of color, who are now looking at you in awe and admiration.
I grabbed that from that experience as a player, as a point guard. You are the leader and coach on the floor. So coming in, you feel what the energy is going to be like, and you always have to bring it. But that's why you have a staff. And that's why you take the time to build the staff that you have, because there are days that a coach can come in and he'll be like, man, coach, I don't have it today. And it's like, don't worry, we got your back, right? So we have those days, but you still have to bring it, because our players, they look to you. They look to me at, what is she going to be today? How is she going to do it? And you don't want to slip up. They're smart. They're smart. You don't know your stuff and you're not prepared, they'll call you on it. So you have to always make sure you're prepared and you're on it.
Listening to an interview that you did, and you pointed out something that really stood out to me, because you mentioned that women should in fact shift their focus and rather fight for equity. Why is that?
Because you never want to be the token. Because you never want to be that box that they need to check. Just put them there, boxing. You want responsibility. You want something to take ownership of. If an organization or a company or a group gives you responsibility, that means a lot more than just a title and a position, because that means you have a stake in what's going on. I am the head coach of our G League team. Our development of our young players, they look at me for that, and that's a huge responsibility. So I think that's something that's really important to think about when, as women, we're trying to get certain opportunities, or we're trying to fight for jobs or chances to do certain things. The question is, what are my responsibilities? What exactly am I going to be doing besides just checking a box or not? Also realizing it's okay to be different. I'm not a man. I'm just not. And I'm not going to try to be, and I'm not going to pretend to be something I'm not. And I'm not going to try to slide and fit in to think it's what they want or to make them comfortable. I'm going to be me and to do me. And if I have different views and ideas, that is why I'm there, right? That's the whole point of it. And the whole point of being someone that is different in the room is bringing your different ideas through your experiences. So I want people to be okay with being who they are and being comfortable just doing that. And if other people have a problem, then that's on them. But, that's worked for me as I've moved in here.
Well, Coach, I'm leaving this conversation super inspired. Thank you so much for the time. Congratulations again, just everything that you've been able to accomplish up until this point in your career. And you guys are certainly, I already know, headed for a deep playoff run. And thank you again.
Thank you so much.
And when we return, we'll spotlight two women making an impact behind the scenes for the Texas Legends and their players. With players' health and wellness being the focal point of any team, the individuals who strive to keep them game day ready day in and day out hold one of the most important roles to any organization's path to success. And no one knows this better than head trainer Ashley Rudolph.
I always wanted to be an athletic trainer. I was fortunate enough that since I graduated from undergrad at Michigan State, I've been an athletic trainer. I've been employed as an athletic trainer my entire career. So it'll be like May of this year, it'll be 14 years. I've been a certified athletic trainer. So, but yeah, I was ready to make the leap, and here I am.
And even just before this interview started, me and you were talking about minority women, right? What's something that you wish somebody would have told you early on as a minority woman?
I think one of the biggest things is that sometimes people aren't just gonna, they don't like you. Whether it's how you look, whether it's how you act, whether it's how you wear your hair, what you wear, the attitude, the response. People unfortunately just won't like you, and that's okay. You have to be okay, you have to be confident, secure in what you're doing and the work that you're doing. Hold your head up high, have integrity, and go about your business. So I think that's one of the things I wasn't warned about early on in my career. But when you have a support system, whether it's your supervisors, whether it's other athletic trainers, I do have a close knit of athletic trainers, my mentors, small friends that are around me that understand the journey too. It just makes it that much easier. And so you feel a little bit of support with that. You can hold your head up a little bit higher because other women, other minority women are going through the exact same thing. So I think as I went into my career and grew into my career, the journey became a lot easier understanding that no matter what age you are, no matter where you start, whether you're just graduating or you have 30 years in the game, just continue to do the job with integrity and do it with their head high.
How much does authenticity play a factor in just being able to show up every day and perform your role at a high level?
Authenticity is everything. I tie that into whatever your moral compass is. For me, it's having a lot of faith. That's just how I was raised. But you have to be your authentic self because that's the only way I know how to show up. Players need stability. Coaches, front office, other individuals, their attitudes, feelings, it's gonna waver throughout the season. It could be day by day, it could be based on the play, it could be based on the record, who's getting traded, who's getting waived, what. And I always tell my students this, you have to be the consistent factor in that the player know exactly what they're gonna get from you. They know that you're gonna be an even-keeled individual, and that plays a part in your authenticity. Just be yourself.
Yes, I love that. And ultimately, 10 years from now, the game will have evolved, right? But particularly when it comes to your position as an athletic trainer, how do you hope that continues to evolve? Or where do you see that going or evolving in 10 years from now?
Hopefully athletic trainers are still here. We're not being replaced by anybody. But I still see athletic trainers being a vital role in basketball, sports in general around the world. I definitely want to see more women, definitely want to see more minorities involved, especially in decision-making fields, decision-making areas, because one of the few positions or staff roles that really have a good pulse on the players are athletic trainers. Really, the G League is a development league for everybody, not just the players, but the staff members, the coaches, athletic trainers as well. I've been fortunate to be in a position where I'm hired by the Mavericks, and my position is year-round. So once I'm done with the season here, I spend the rest of the season with the Mavs. We all got to put our best foot forward because everybody's watching. It doesn't matter if it's the G League or not. Front office people will still watch the film. They're watching you. And so that's one thing I do also stress with my students and everyone here is that eyes are still set on you. And it is a proving ground. It's a proving ground for all of us. And we have to show up every day. Players too, got to show up every day to have that opportunity to show what you got. Even if you are sitting in the first chair with the clipboard.
Hey.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
It's a process.
Yes, it's a journey. Absolutely, absolutely.
Ashley is passionate about mentoring other female trainers and continues pushing for equal pay and more visibility for women athletic trainers in the G League as well. After a tear in her ACL led her to the curiosity of wanting to learn more about the human anatomy, head strength and conditioning coach Meg Dodge turned her trial into a long life career path that has revealed a greater purpose.
Take a little farther back with you because you cheated. I said, hold, straighten. Push your hips forward. Good.
You were born in Ogdensburg, New York. When did it become apparent to you that you wanted to pursue a career in strength and conditioning?
I blew out my ACL in 8th grade. It wasn't really popular and people didn't really know what to do. And then after that, there was more people in my high school that tore their ACL or got injured, and it always interested me like how I could prevent it one day. So I decided to go to college, study exercise science, and then I just learned about strength and conditioning. I didn't even know it was what it was, really, to be honest, because where I grew up, I mean, small, I graduated with 120 people. It was very small, like we didn't have access to a lot of things, so I wanted to be able to bring that one day back home.
And you mentioned to me how you're now in your 7th year. I mean, you've really gone through a journey from the moment that you broke your ACL, going to college, now becoming a part of this organization. I can only imagine that you also had to face a lot of obstacles along the way.
I think one of the biggest was honestly just the transition to professional sports. I came as an intern and then I became an assistant, and then I came my role here as a G League strength coach. And it was really hard, like learning professional sports, learning, you know, all the ins and outs and how there's so much more to what we just see on TV. I mean, my first time on a basketball court was center court in the NBA, like ever. Like I never went to a basketball game or anything. Like wow. I was center court, like I was like, oh wow, this is what this is, you know.
That was your welcome to the NBA moment.
It was great, but it was also one of those things I never thought I'd be there, and I was very fortunate to have great people around me, great mentors and everything like that. But without those people, I wouldn't have been able to, you know, be where I am today. So.
And I love how you mentioned mentors, because I feel like a lot of times people assume that those types of relationships aren't necessarily important, but especially for women that are aspiring to pursue a career in a male-dominated industry, how vital is having a mentor along the way?
I think it's extremely vital in so many ways, like even if they're not in that area. So I had people that were in the basketball operations that were female that were my mentors, but they may not have been focused in strength and conditioning, but they were focused in the NBA. So like recognizing that at the end of the day, like you're here to do a job and it doesn't matter your gender or anything like that. It's just, you got to perform it as best as possible. And I was fortunate to have people around me growing up that, you know, I played sports with the guys. It was no big deal. Like it was just normal. So I had people that it doesn't matter. It wasn't, oh, you're a girl, you can't do that. It was always, you can do whatever you want, like as long as you work hard. So I think always having that mindset that as long as you do your job as best you can, like that's all you need.
And throughout this process, now that you've been able to be the head strength and conditioning coach for this particular organization for the past 2 years, what's something that you've learned about yourself?
I think just learning that, to be adaptable on the fly is one thing that as an assistant a couple years ago, I didn't have, but then being put in this role, many would say like in the fire of like, developing my own program, developing all these different things. It was really like throw me in the fire and see what you can do. And like at the end of the day, it was maybe overwhelming at times, but then it's taught me so much, because if I didn't get this opportunity from supervisors, everything like that saw that, oh, you want to do something different? Let's see what you can do. Like I was fortunate to have those people that gave me the opportunity, and it was definitely scary, but it was also every day I'm thankful to learn something new and to like be better. I think I'm a lot better now than I was, 5-7 years ago. Like I grow every year.
And a lot of times the G League is obviously looked at as a place where people can continue to develop, to continue to learn, to move on to the next level. How are you really capitalizing on the time here to help you get to where you ultimately want to get?
I think that if you have a role in the G League, maybe a more, supervisor role or anything like that, at the end of the day, you can't go to someone else, or you have to decide what's best. Having that is one thing that, I didn't have a while ago, and now every day I learn, but I think it's made me a better, coach and a better employee.
Awesome. Thank you so much. Representation across any industry is important, but with less than 5% of Hispanics working in the NBA both on and off the court, the significance of advocating for more minority women in the industry has always been a passion for basketball operations specialist for the Rip City Remix, Francina Brea. Francina, last season, you were the first female basketball operations manager for the Capitanes de la Ciudad de Mexico. Now you're with the Rip City Remix, who are making their debut in the G League for the first time. Was that move for you strategic?
It was not strategic. It was just like we just moved. I decided to let's do it again. Let's start this team from scratch. It was very, I feel like a family, great organization. And it was just like Mexico, even though the first year was the Showcase Cup, I said, in Mexico City, it was from scratch, first time. So here it's just the same. They gave me the opportunity and I take it.
And you represent a unique group of women, Latina women, who only just recently we're starting to see more of in the world of professional sports. Why is it important that more women and Latina women make an impact in this industry?
For me, it's just something that I still sometimes wake up and say, I can't believe it. I came straight from the Dominican Republic, and I feel like I like to reach there and make other women understand, you can grow up, you can even move to the States, take the step. For every Latina woman in the United States, it's like, you guys are there, you can get here. Mm-hmm. It's not hard, it's just work hard and you will get there.
Did you have any mentors along the way?
Yes. The person that really teach me everything in basketball and helped me get all the way up to here, it's Chad Sanders. He's now the director of scouting for the Raptors. Mm-hmm. He was a GM for the men's national team and the basketball and men's national team in DR. So he teach me everything, and he said, if you work hard, you're just gonna get there. So every time I just have something in my career, I call him what do you think about this, or how can you help me with this? And he's always giving me advices, and it's great to have someone just to call and to be there for you for any question or anything.
Most definitely. And you actually had the opportunity to work with the Dominican Republic's national team here just recently alongside some big names in the NBA like Karl Anthony Towns. What was that experience like for you? And not only that, but you got to share it with your baby boy.
First, it was for my family. It was great. With Karl is a great guy, great kid. He was a great person for the team. Mm-hmm. And
for me, they're family. So I brought my whole family. I was like, yeah, I can be there with you guys, but I need my family to be there because I'm breastfeeding and it's hard to leave the baby behind. So we all just went, and the experience was amazing.
And I like that you mentioned that, because I feel like there's a lot of women in this industry that feel like they're forced to choose, right? Like, should I be a professional? Will that interfere with me wanting to be a wife or a mother? But what do you feel like, or what can you tell those women who are struggling with that?
I honestly can say that the work is hard, but when you like and you love what you do, you can do anything. It's just you travel with more things, but it's great. So it really pays off at the end.
Just mastering that balance, right?
Yeah.
I feel like this is only the beginning for you. Where do you see yourself next?
Honestly, I would love to be in the NBA. I'm already part of an NBA team. I always help in every way that I can. So I just love to be around helping the players, and my like my coworkers. Everyone is just, great. So I really see myself growing in the organization and helping other women to understand that you can move up. It doesn't have to be like, let me just stay here. I have a family. I have seen a lot of women that have babies nowadays, and they are by presidents. They are like, and they have families. So everyone can get there.
Thank you so much, Francina. And you're right. Women do have the power, in fact, to do it all. Well, thank you so much for joining us for this month's episode. We hope you enjoyed it as much as we did, as we got to shine the light on some incredible women from across the G. We can't wait to continue to share these types of stories with you all in the future. But for now, I'm your host, April Marie, and we'll see you guys next time.